Alright, come on now. How y'all doing this morning?
Great.
I got coffee? Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you for coming out. My name is Jordan Marlowe, and I'm one of the organizers for One Million Cups. How many folks have not been on One Million Cups before? People? Alright. Well, so this is a weekly program where we have entrepreneurs come and tell their stories, and through that process, we get to understand why they're passionate about what they're doing in their business, and what's like at the core of the problem that they're solving, and then what are they doing to create value for others, who are the people that they're creating value for, maybe what are some of the challenges that they face, and then also what are some of the successes that we can champion with them. It's a really neat event though, because a lot of pitch competitions, you'll learn a lot about businesses, like all the fine tunings of how it works, but this is really much more about why this person is passionate about what they're doing, and learning from them so we can empathize with them and share their story in our community. The way this started though was at the Coffee Foundation, so we're super thankful to be able to charter this program from them. And their whole thesis is that if we can share 1 million more cups of coffee with each other, we can fundamentally change our entrepreneurial ecosystem. And I believe that that's totally true, because if you think about some of your best ideas, they often come when you're with somebody over a cup of coffee or having drinks after work. And that happens every single week here. So we're glad you guys can come out. For you folks who have been week in and week out, we thank you, and we couldn't do this without you. And we're just continuing to grow this community. This week we have kind of some special stuff going on. So this 1 million cup session is actually tied into an entire week long of events for the Chamber of Commerce at the City of Little Rock's Minority Enterprise Development Week. And I'd actually like to invite Chauncey Baldwin out to tell us a little bit more about what's going on with that.
Thank you, Jordan. Hi, everybody. How's it doing this morning? Good. Awesome. That's a good word for it. So as Jordan said, although I've been to many 1 million cups, and they're always great, they're always wonderful spaces to kind of sit down with startups and established businesses and share their story and get motivated by them, and then leave and say, well, I need to create better ideas and great ideas and feed off of them. So I love 1 million cups, and so 1 million cups has allowed us to partner / kind of hijack this week and tie it into Minority Enterprise Development Week, which is put on by the Chamber. It's the 33rd annual Minority Enterprise Development Week, and much like 1 million cups, there are event weeks that are throughout the entire country in various cities, and they all have their own different week of programming and how they celebrate Minority Enterprise Development Week. And so I'll have some of these in the back, and this is basically our week's worth of programming. It goes all the way. I started Monday with our Opportunity Garage, which was an excellent event, and then we end at a culminating awards banquet at Philander Smith College with Al Bell as our presenting keynote speaker. Is anybody familiar with Al Bell? So he's a mogul in the music industry, and was pretty much one of the stone people that were involved in integrating the music industry. So I really look forward to hearing what he has to say about the success stories and the pitfalls and the climbs of being a startup to being a mogul. What's that process in between? So again, I'll leave these in the back for anyone that wants to attend some of our weeks. Every day we have different programming from 1 million cups to how to present a great elevator pitch, an elevator pitch workshop that leads to an elevator pitch competition that we have on Saturday with Legends of Arkansas. And so we have a bunch of tons of great programming. So please get this, attend some of our events. Hopefully we'll see you there. It's not just for minorities, it's open to public and everyone. And I am so looking forward to our 2 presenters today. So thank you for having us. And
thank you, Chauncey. All right, so last thing before I introduce our first presenter, we've got our awesome whiteboard up here that has all of our social media handles for our presenters. We highly encourage you to get online and tweet about us, share inspiring quotes that you might hear, and also help us promote the people up here on stage. It takes a lot of guts to get up here and share what they're passionate about and prepare these presentations. So we want to make sure that people who didn't make it today are able to kind of see an echo chamber of activity and excitement around these 2 presenters today. All right, so without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce Leah Patterson, who I was able to kind of become friends with over a program called Piph at the Venture Center. And as I first met Leah, who had this passionate idea about what she was working on. But then over the course of the Piph program, I realized like this girl is so unique, and she's humble to boot, and you'll probably get that. But she is one of the smartest people that I've ever had the pleasure of learning from and working next to. And so without further ado, it's my pleasure introducing Leah Patterson. Let's give her a round of applause.
Hello, can you hear me? Great. Hello, everyone. That was so nice, Jordan. Thank you. Again, my name is Leah Patterson, and I am the owner and founder of Piph Makeup, which is a new startup here in Little Rock. As you can see, we've been trying to get this video set up for you guys. So I want to start with this. Right now, we just launched within these weeks. Well, I'll talk about that a little bit later. But I've just launched a Kickstarter campaign for the makeup line, and the video really tells you why I started it, what it's for, and it tells you where we are. And then I will fill in the gaps after the video. Hi, my name is Leah Patterson, and I am the founder of Piph Makeup. Piph Makeup is a sweat-proof, all-natural cosmetics line for women who sweat, for active women. I created this makeup line for my own needs and also women with very sensitive skin. Early on, I found that I could not wear the makeup that was available. Either it was too toxic for my skin and my skin would break out, or it wouldn't last for my performances. And so finally, I decided that I had the experience to create what I needed. I'm a chemical engineer and I'm also a professional salsa dancer as well as an esthetician. So I used those to create a makeup line that would perform for me and what I needed, something sweat-proof and natural, but would also perform for all the other women out there.
I like the kayak and I like to exercise and outdoors a lot. So it's nice to be able to leave in the morning with you, all the young river and the lake, and still put her in
Any other like foundation, sometimes after wearing softball, it does just start to get a little glow, so this can last all day long. It's all made out of natural products and just really good. Her makeup lasts. It feels light on my skin because normally I don't wear makeup, but I have to for work and everything else that I'm doing. So it feels light and airy and it lasts.
All of the instructions were just different than most makeup, and I put it on and I was really surprised. There's not much there in it, it covers really well. It is shiny and it's not obvious.
She learned the harshness of chemicals, and it didn't work for her, and she didn't want it for other women as well. So just knowing the passion and the love that she puts into her product is huge, and there's nothing else in the market like it. So to me, it's what we want.
What makes Piph Makeup so special is its unique combination of minerals and other naturally occurring ingredients. In particular, the titanium dioxide and zinc oxide are combined to create a formula that adheres to the skin, yet creates a breathable but sweat-resistant barrier coating. We need your help to be able to get the exposure that we need for the brand, to get it in front of enough people, and then also to be able to produce it on a large enough scale. We really appreciate every single effort you make to spread the word, to tell other people about it, and we especially appreciate your donations towards this Kickstarter campaign. Thank you very much again. Okay. So, thank you. This video was a collaborative effort that truly came out of me being a member of the Venture Center. I don't know if you all know Lucas Dean of Retro Cat Media. He created that video, and all of the women in that video are people here in Little Rock you might know. So it's really been a collaborative community effort to create this video and push this Kickstarter campaign, and even my makeup line all together. So let me tell you a little bit about the video took you my story. I'm a professional salsa dancer. I'm also a chemical engineer and an esthetician. And so as the video said, I just couldn't wear the makeup that was available. Drugstore makeup would break my skin out. I have very sensitive skin. And the natural makeup that was available just would not last in my performances. It would sweat off, or it just wouldn't be the right color. So that really is what drove me to create the makeup line. And I created it. It was a small business. It was kind of a side hobby business, and when I came to the Venture Center, I came with the desire to figure out, like, could I move this to a large-scale, national, and potentially global business? And through my work at the Piph program at the Venture Center, I found out that yes, this is possible. So that is the path that I've been on for the past year. So that I went to the Venture Center program, the first pre-flight program in the end of last year, and renamed my makeup line at the beginning of this year, and been moving forward. So, so this is the path I'm on right now. So I want to tell you a little bit about particularly where I am and what my plans are for the future. So the reason why I decided to do a Kickstarter campaign is that I found early on that in order to create buzz in the skincare and the makeup world, you really have to step out there very boldly. So you have to step out there with a lot of advertising, a lot of marketing, or you have to find another way to get out there in front of people. And so since I didn't have a huge budget to do a ton of marketing and a ton of brand ambassadors and all of that wonderful stuff that other huge companies have, I get the exposure initially. And that was the idea that came forward for the Kickstarter campaign. Because with a Kickstarter campaign, of course you want to raise the money, and that's one of the primary purposes. But the other purpose is also to create exposure, to be able to tell people your story, to have people share the information. So even if someone doesn't purchase through the Kickstarter campaign, they've seen it, they're starting to recognize the name, they have a friend who's tried it, and that's really how I've been growing the credibility of makeup. So I'll tell you guys where kind of what my strategy is. So my strategy is to grow an online business. So I've tried to do things before with other businesses and retail spaces, and what I've found is that it's really difficult in the makeup space to compete with large companies if you don't have your own kind of your own tribe that's already been formed. So with makeup, I decided I'm going to form my tribe online, and then in the next year move into retail spaces. So realized that I need to understand online strategy. So that's been what I've been working on in these past 6 months or so. And the Kickstarter campaign is kind of a combination of that. I've worked with a couple of different platforms. So my main platforms are Instagram and Periscope. Are you guys Periscopers? Are any Periscopers in here? So Periscope and Instagram have been my main forms of kind of reaching customers. And it's really been great. Like we've got tons of testimonials. We've got people spreading the word. We've got a nice kind of community of people starting to grow and tell the story of makeup and tell the story that it's actually working for them. So what I did in the beginning was just gave out tons and tons of samples. Again, in the makeup space, you have to have people try it in order to actually get them to tell their friends and spread the word. And it's really it's difficult to get people to try something new when they're committed to something that they've been using. But the hook for the makeup is that it's sweat-proof. It's easy to remove. It's natural. It's sweat-proof. And it actually works too. So that has been the hook that has allowed me to get people to try the makeup. And so we gave out a ton of free samples in the very first couple of months. And that really helped me to grow my email list. And now I have an email list. It's not a huge email list, but it's an email list of people who are really interested in the brand. I explore lots of different ways to grow and get emails and buy emails. But again, those emails are not dedicated people that are really invested in your brand. So I decided to grow small, to grow slowly, in order to get that groundswell of people that are dedicated to the brand. So let's see, I have notes here to make sure that I don't ramble on and on. So we gave out lots of samples, and one of the things right now that we're developing, and I say we is really me. So that's one of the things that when I talk about kind of the next steps forward, I still am in the search for a co-founder. I definitely understand that having a co-founder, it's just spreading the work, spreading the skill set, having people on your team that are better at this than you are. I learned that through the Venture Center, through being here. That just makes things grow so much faster, and I'll be totally transparent. Part of the reason that Move is growing at a slow pace is because I'm doing everything. And I understand that as a large business, if I want to grow to be this business that I envision, that is important for me to have people on the team that are just as invested in the dream as I am. And again, that's the reason for the Kickstarter campaign, because I'm hoping to gain, to attract the attention of people that are interested in this space, that might be partners at some way down the line, that can help grow this idea bigger than I'd be able to grow it on my own. So let's see. And that's everything that I kind of wanted to mention. I really wanted you all to see the Kickstarter campaign video, just to know kind of where I am right now. The Kickstarter campaign launched yesterday, so this is a big month for me. And we already have a few backers, you guys probably saw that. And so I'm really excited about that. Just to explain this slide right here, the QR code takes you directly to the Kickstarter campaign. If you text You Move to that number, that'll send you the link to the Kickstarter campaign. I try to make it super simple for people to be able to remember the web address for the Kickstarter campaign. So I'm not going to make this a long presentation because I know that we are kind of short for time. But the things that you guys can do to help is really just spread the word about the Kickstarter campaign. Let people know that that this is a unique makeup line. There's only one other makeup line that is even close to this, and that makeup line is not created by a computer with somebody that has the exact experience to create it and to live the story. So my makeup line is very unique, and we're the first in this space. So I think that's all I want to say. I wanted to see if there are any questions.
Just a bit. So does anyone, first question, also anyone tuning in online, if you want to ask a question, just send it in the chat on Google Hangouts. First question, anyone?
I did, here. I'm curious about this Kickstarter stuff. What did you read about it online and so forth? Was it easy? Was it hard? What was the surprising part about putting together your campaign?
I'm really glad you asked that question because I feel like that is that's something that I can definitely help people with now in the future. That since I've been in this process, it's to do a Kickstarter campaign really well. It takes a lot of planning. The biggest part is the video, and that's why I went ahead and enlisted the help of a professional to do the video because I could have pulled something together myself, but just to have something that really tells your story really quickly and really kind of makes the emotional connection for people and the visual connection for people, that is probably the most important part, I would imagine. And then next, it's really important to then write your story out. So really building the campaign is probably the most important part because even if you bring eyes to your campaign, if it's not compelling, then you just wasted your time bringing eyes to the campaign. And then the second part is creating a strategy to bring eyes to your campaign. You can only hit up your friends and family so much for them to support something like this, and your raise will probably be very small if you're only thinking to approach your family and friends. So you really want to develop a strategy for reaching out to media and reaching out to influencers in your area, and then also forums, groups. So the planning of the Kickstarter campaign is much more than just your actual campaign. Putting it up there and following the steps, all that's pretty simple. But what you're putting up there and how you're going to move it moving forward in front of people is really important. There are companies that can do that for you, and I would say just with everything, I would research them very heavily because it's an industry now, kind of. So you have tons of when I launched this, I had about 5 or 6 companies email me within the hour from launching this, PR companies. So it's definitely something that a PR company will probably be a good advice, a good thing to take on, but you just want to make sure that they have trackable measurements and a way to tell what the investment, the return on the investment of working.
Hey, this is Mike. I got a question for you. Your background is engineering, solves things, and 2 things I know nothing about. But it's not specific necessarily to running a business. What are you looking for in a reference to co-founder? But what is the side of the business that you've been running? You're interested in. Do you really think would be a good thing?
I'll be perfectly honest. Business strategist, somebody that can help you plan out and take, and not just take action, because I'm a great action taker, but take the smartest action forward. So that would be probably the biggest skill set that I need, because like I said, I'm great at doing my own small scale stuff, and I can think really well small scale, and I can take action and I work really, really hard. But big business is not about working hard, it's about working smart. And so having someone on my side that can help me how to work smartly would be great.
Yeah, Spencer Jones here. A lot of these, like a lot of conferences, people utilize those to try to get the word out about the products. Have you tried to go to like gymnastics conferences and maybe like national dance conferences and kind of just have a side booth there? I know that booths can be pretty cheap at places like that. I'm just curious if you had tried that to try to kind of expand and go less after the makeup buyers and more of the activities users, etc.
Yes, and actually that is the strategy for this coming year, is to reach out to, or actually to attend some of the local events, and then be able to branch out there. Part of it is again, you want to be able to have a great, awesome presentation before you go to a vendor fair. You don't want to have a little itty booth with a tacky banner, at some place where it's international or it's a national fair, and you've got to stand out. And that's kind of the space of being able to play with the big boys. You want to be able to just look as great as them. And so that's been the plan for next year, is to be able to kind of have a beautiful display and just pull people in just with a beautiful display.
All right, we're running a little bit short on time for additional questions, but if you have other questions that you've been thinking of, find Jay afterwards, and I'm sure she'll be able to answer those for you. But one last thing we have for you, and you know this because you've been doing us before. What is the one thing that we can do as a community to help you today? I have a feeling we kind of know one thing, but kind of tell us how we can lead today.
That'd be great. Yes, I'm sure you guys all know that I put the link there so that you all can share it. So again, the biggest thing about Kickstarter is sharing and getting in front of as many eyes as possible. So if you can share it, even if you share it, say, hey, this is something interesting I think you can check out, share it on your social media. As many eyes as we can get on the campaign will make a difference if it's successful or not. It's a 30-day campaign. We've got a great start, but we're raising at least $10,000, so that's lots of $15 foundations to buy. So thank you very much.
Give it up for one more time. All right, so up next we're going to kind of transition real quickly. Probably take a minute to get more coffee and stuff while you're set up. So if you want some more coffee, we'll kick off here in about 60 seconds or so. my best friend, kind of had this group in Little Rock that really changed the way he thought about what he could do with his life, and it was through exploring his passions through hip hop and learning about himself. He's gone on to work for world-changing startup companies. He's starting his own company now, and it was something that he attributes to that experience of finding himself in hip hop. And that's not all that our next presenter is all about, but that's one thing that I know for a fact that I really respect him for what he does. And so without further ado, I'm going to welcome on Piph. He's going to tell you more about what he's up to.
Y'all know me. So I just said before, my name is Piph. Most people call me Piph. So I also have a crowdfunding campaign, Minds on Indiegogo, and I'm talking about my new project, which is called I Am Not Them Legacy Project. I'm starting off first showing y'all the video. So, 2012 was a crazy and pivotal year. It started off with me releasing my album, Such Is Life, which is my masterpiece project that I always wanted to create since I started writing 10 years prior. Also went overseas to 3 countries in Africa to produce a friend of mine, courtesy of the U.S. Embassy. I over there did some real cool like things, created some music with some artists in the area. Also did different shows and performances in the cities, one of which I headlined a 7,000 person attended concert in Los Angeles. What's crazy is all that kind of paled in comparison to the most memorable part of it, which was a different exchange and interaction with people. When there was the workshops with the students and groups and creators over there, or the different conversations we had with the records and music. 2012, I also went sabbatical with the core intent of figuring out what I wanted to do next in my career. First one was a no-brainer. Continue to make no music. My heart and soul lies with my passion, hip-hop, the creation of it, forming up and just having it existing to the world. I thought about what was more, I realized my experiences more over time. The second thing I wanted to do was create enhanced experiences for me. Whether that's different ways of music videos, or visuals, or adding different parts to my show. The last aspect I realized was kind of a little bit connected to my life purpose. Engaging and connecting with and building with individuals who want to better themselves in their work. So as I got into my next project, I realized it had to contain all 3 of these things. So ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to y'all to I Am Not Them, the Legacy Project. What this is the first album-based app, innovative series made for individuals like yourself. And like what's that mean? Glad you back. It is a 14-song album. Each song has what's called an episode that takes the place in a music visual, engagement piece, or the other piece of interactive content. 2 episodes come out per week, span over a 2-month process until the whole story is told. Now we'll also do the traditional format, put it down in video, download, physical CD. But a true experience is had through the app. And one of the key ways of having that experience is you discover. See, I didn't want to just tell my stories, just music or visuals. Also figure out cool ways for individuals to tell and exchange their stories and interact with that directly to help shape their story. Now, why use crowdfunding? Well, because I've already started creating a lot of music components that still need additional finances to bring this thing to life. Now, none of them goes to my pocket. All of it either goes to the project, making sure that the phenomenal team I have together gets compensated properly. Also, as a token of appreciation, there's rewards, and when you make your pledge, you get that as well. So if you would, take a second, check out the rewards recently on the project. Please make a contribution of that. Thank you in advance. Carry the greatest out. I Am Not Them, the Legacy Project. Take care. All right, so as you see, also a few people in the building who in the video and the beer right there, Sean French is helping the project. Yeah, that's him turn around. And also actually the developer of it, shooting a movie right now, his own movie. Shout out to Luke there. So what this project is, one more time, I call it the first of its kind interactive app-based album made to engage, highlight, and connect the users, or as we call it, the fam. So it actually has 4 main components. The first component is what we call the music video episodes. And what these are videos on for each song, but at the same time, there's an underlying narrative thread which connects all of them together to create a story. Second aspect is what we call the engagement piece episodes. And what these are real simple, intuitive ways for the user to interact with the app to basically share their own smaller stories. It takes the form of different things from Instagram walls to user-generated content that gets uploaded to certain profiles and other calls to action. The third aspect of it is what ties both of these together. So as both of these kind of smaller stories are going on, we actually have a way that they weave together for the outcome. The fourth component is actually called the fan piece. And I don't know, many of y'all used to get albums back in the day, records or CDs or tapes. So, you know, back in the day before the digital age, we used to have like liner notes. And it was cool just to go back there, see their thank yous and what they talked about. So this is kind of our new millennium digital way of doing it, of basically the fan will highlight the creators of the app, as well as during the whole process, certain fan members will highlight them and show their own stories and profiles within it. Kind of the last aspect is I'm also part of a program called Global Kids Arkansas, which serves, basically we take students in underserved communities and send them overseas for foreign exchange projects. So 10% of all the funding, once this project's up through CD sales and merch, will all go to Global Kids Arkansas. Now, I was coming here and I was trying to figure out what to highlight besides the fact of hoping y'all contribute, and also we'll actually pub this up a little bit. And I do hope y'all do that. But besides that, I actually thought about a story on the way up here, which kind of was relevant to everything going on. So about a year and a half ago, I had a meeting with a group of individuals who weren't directly related to the project at the time. And I basically want to go and just brainstorm, throw some ideas off of them, see if I was on the right path, and just talk a little bit more about the project and hear their feedback. There were some authors, I think it was a rapper, it was somebody in marketing, somebody more tech related. Now, as it went on, one of my homeboys who I invited just looked at me and was like, man, why don't you just rap? He's like, you rap already. You have a following, you do well with what you do. Like, why don't you just stick to rapping, make a single, put it out, and push that hard? Now, I was slightly taken aback because, you know, he was a creative dude, and I was kind of just surprised he didn't at least feel the project a little bit. But I responded to him what I say, like in the business sense. So I told him about how albums nowadays are quickly disposable, right? So as soon as they come out, a lot of people forget about them, and how this app would actually elongate that lifespan and basically like take it over a longer process to make it resonate with the community more. I also talked about them too, how once we set this standard for like a new album, that we actually can basically turn this into a business and figure out ways to do this for other artists and serve a platform for that. Now, I told him that, but at the end of the day, I realized the core of it was kind of missing. So that was all like from the business standpoint, but truthfully, it came from a creative standpoint. Because in 2012, I was trying to figure out what I really cared about and what I was going to be passionate about in my next project. And it came to 3 things, which was definitely hip hop experiences, community building, and also philanthropy. And at the end of the day, that's like what this came from. It came from this spirit of basically, I'm passionate about these subjects and I want to figure out a project that can basically hold all these things together. Now, don't get me wrong, as it evolved, I saw different business opportunities from it, and I saw different ways that we could connect with different people, and how basically if I create something and expand it out, there's a lot of people who also will resonate with it. But at the end of the day, once again, it just came from this creative passion. And I say that because a lot of times, even though there's nothing wrong with it, we're always trying to figure out like the next big idea to basically get on the cover of Forbes and make multi-million dollars, and trying to figure out immediately when we create something like what's the business viability of it. But sometimes, as I like to say, it's like the world just needs more cool. Like, you create it because it has to be created. So even though I am doing a crowdfunding and doing all this and basically want to expand into a larger business overall, I did it because like I had to. And that is the end of my speech.
We're going to work this the same way we did last time. If anybody online has any questions, throw that in the Google chat. If anybody out here has a first question, let me know. Okay, I have one comment I want to say, and I probably won't have many more questions after this, but I think that your leadership and your creativity and everything that you do speaks for itself. One thing though that that you didn't mention in this, and I think this speaks to your passion and commitment, is that Piph graduated from Stanford, and also didn't you turn down a job from NASA?
Yeah, like NASA and Boeing and General Motors.
Yeah, so Epiphany turned down a job at NASA and Boeing, all these awesome companies, to do engineering. And it was because he felt so passionate about what he's doing now. And I think you see that because he's going above and beyond, building an app and taking the next step and making a community. And like, I have so much appreciation for what you do. So I just wanted to say that.
Cool, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to talk about my salsa dancing too. I was trained by Leah. Yeah.
I didn't realize that. You might have to show us.
No, thank you.
All right. So does anybody have any questions though? Yep.
So I feel like you are all over creating a new art form. That this combination of all these different medias together into something new that's kind of greater than the individual pieces. And it's one thing to talk about this individual project, but I think there's a lot of potential for what you're doing to become like a container for expression. Somehow, I'm fascinated with this.
Cool.
I don't have a question.
Oh no, I appreciate that. Thanks for that comment. And one of the reasons I actually like doing these talks is, if anybody would like to converse later on, because I have a lot of ideas of what it could form into. First, I believe it's like important for us to like knock this one out the park to basically set that standard. But definitely, I'm already kind of thinking ahead like what this could form into. So if anybody wants to converse later on, I'm definitely open for it. Like, and I have these talks sometimes, and that's actually how I met Luke. I did a talk one time at the Clinton School. And after that, we became cool, and actually he's working on the project. So I'm definitely up to converse about other ideas about it later on. But I'm glad you think so. I think so too. So yeah.
Cool. Okay, one more over this side. I'm Joe Calhoun, Piph. Walk me through this just briefly. I know we don't have much time. You know, if I'm gonna get online, I'm gonna get this app. I'm gonna get online. I'm gonna buy this album participation. Is that what it is? And then what sort of input would come from me or other consumers like me?
Right. So there's like called episodes. So there's going to be 14 songs. Each one has an episode. Some of the episodes are music videos. Some of the episodes are engagement pieces, but they're basically overall it's telling a story. And it's basically woven together from each episode to come to a conclusion. So it's a mix between these music videos, stuff the user inputs to kind of contribute to the story, and the end result. Oh no, so for the user is different forms. So some of it is just like sharing pictures. They're miniature stories, as I call it, like micro stories. So a larger story is woven together through the music videos, but micro stories are told from the user. At the end, they kind of all tie back together. Right.
So do you see this as basically being the new way that all artists put out their new creations? Because I can totally see that. Yeah,
I see it heavily in that direction. So it's really want to like set a standard that could revolutionize kind of a entire industry. So the one thing that kind of be home for it is each one would have to be specific to the artist, you know, kind of like it might flow a different way, but basically this is combining a lot of things that artists already do, but in a more structured format to make it more entertaining and greater experience for the artist. So it's kind of like I saw the industry kind of moving there already, but trying to beat them to the punch while keeping it true to like my own art form. So definitely.
Yes. Hi, I'm Sean, the guy with the beard.
What's up?
Would you explain exactly what the perks are and the amount you're trying to raise and where they can do that at, and how great my beard is, if you have enough time for that?
Cool. I couldn't have planted that question better myself. So it'll actually go live to the public on next Tuesday at Indiegogo, and I actually have to frame it. I have a email contact list over there, as well as I have these wonderfully made signs that I want to take pictures. So based on the launch day, we want to basically contact everybody, have them post their picture. be on Indiegogo. So the easiest way is I could tell you the link, but I'll just shoot you the link directly, kind of just doing a big launch like that. Different perks range from between, of course, like, because the app will be free. So different perks range from like getting the digital download the album first free to actually I'll ghostwrite a song for you, to I'll make you theme music. So if you want your own song, I will make a song for you. Different things like that range. So it's a mix between like the standard of like CDs, t-shirts, as well as me trying to do creative things with my team to kind of do things for you. So like songs, also like, oh yeah, if you want to be a star yourself, we have like a super package where we'll write the song, help you in the studio, and we'll shoot a music video for you. So I know that inner artist, that rock star artist in you. If you need some salsa dance, we'll throw in an extra perk, get some foundation over on her Kickstarter campaign, and we'll just pop it off like that.
Does anyone have any other questions? All right.
Hey, Piph, I've listened to hip hop like my entire life, and sometimes I struggle to find music that I like that's not hip hop. So I love this. I was gonna say, when you were figuring out how you wanted to like get the content to the user and then have them interact, was it kind of just a strictly internal collaboration and you brought in people, or did you kind of look at how, you know, like Snapchat and the different ways that we're consuming content right now? I was just curious about how you kind of, you know, set the framework for procuring that content.
Yeah, so honestly, it was like a lot of different methods, some that were on purpose, intentional, some that kind of were accidental. So just in my, up to that point, in like 2012, my decade long, I saw kind of how people were sharing. So a lot of it was just became intuitive because I saw what was going on. Then it just became like an internal conversation. And then I just started having conversations with people, asking them like, hey, what's going on? Or what do you think about this? So it's a mix of like just observing, thinking about it, as well as just like, as she said before, like contacting people way, way smarter and more knowledgeable in the area than myself and figuring it all out. And then just constantly getting feedback. I did like between 2012, that project actually did 2 more EPs. And in that, besides the fact that I artistically want to do it, I just did like little experiments each time to see what works. So it's kind of like, what is it, like this called like lane startup? Yeah, it's basically like minimal vibe product. Like just did little experiments. This worked, this didn't work. We'll adapt this for the app, things of that nature, right? Yeah.
Piph, Chris Kenton here. This really reminds me of the Foo Fighters Sonic Highways project that they've done on HBO, where they go around and record at specific places and specific cities that were very important to them. At the end of each show, they put a song out, and they put their album out that way. And it seems like you're kind of tapping into that same vein of keeping it going for an extended period of time, so people pay a lot more attention to it, which is pretty awesome, by the way, to be.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the other thing is, where can people see you next? Because I'm sure everybody in this room wants to go see you wherever that's going to be.
Cool, and I didn't even plant this one, right? So actually on Saturday, there are 2 ways to see me. Is Susie still here? There she is. Yeah, so one is Legends of Arkansas, and I think I'm doing a workshop for anybody actually, but Newton tends to be like youth. The workshop during, like, is it 2 o'clock, I think? And then after that is the performance. So I'll do that. And that'll be a solo performance, just like with the DJ and myself. On the second part is actually, I have a big show, which is actually a fundraiser for this as well, at the Rev Room that night. So Saturday night at the Rev Room, and I'll be with my live band. So I actually have a band. It's called Big Piph and Tomorrow Maybe. It's 7 of us, 2 vocalists, 4 musicians, and we just put on a good show. So Legends of Arkansas during the day, and at night we'll be at the Rev Room doors open at 9. I think show starts at 10. Appreciate you asking.
We have time for one more question if anyone has one. Anyone?
So we're aiming to do it at the top of the year, but because of course we have to get the funding for it. But I mean, we're aiming to do it like real early next year, kind of like start at the top of the year. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Piph. So cool. What's the one thing we can do leaving today to help you out?
Cool. So
one action item.
One. Yeah. All right. So leave your email or contact, and then hopefully take a picture with the sign, which is 2 action items, but I made it seem like 1.
Nice. All right, let's give it up for Epiphany. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad that we got a lot of coverage for Legends of Arkansas on that one. So it means I have to spend less time actually talking about how awesome it's going to be this weekend. But I wanted to make sure and let you guys know about some of the stuff going on the rest of the week. Definitely check out that kind of postcard thing with all the events for Minority Enterprise Development Week. Also, Legends of Arkansas is coming up. That is a free festival. So if you're not downtown hanging out and getting involved in that, you're missing out for sure, because there's going to be some really cool stuff. Also want to mention downtown this weekend is going to just be a good place to be in general. There's a lot of things going on. I've had people that reached out and wanted me to make sure that you guys know there's a arts festival called Akanza. There's also, I think, a beer festival and a brat festival. It's all happening downtown here. Bacon Fest. I mean, this weekend, pardon? Okay, so Bacon Fest is not downtown, that's at the fairgrounds, but still, it's a good excuse to get out and get around town a little bit this weekend. Venture Center, do we have any events coming up?
The biggest one is just next week, Tuesday. Donna Bailey will be here for COVID.
Right. Cool. So if you guys have ever played the game Centipede, Donna Bailey is the creator of that game, and she was the first coder at Atari, and one of the first kind of in the industry to really make her mark with something big, and really kind of led the charge in terms of female coders and also just technology in general. I mean, I don't want to underplay how significant it is that she created Centipede, and it's pretty cool. So she's going to come in and talk about that on Tuesday. I know I'm going to check it out, so definitely recommend that. And then anybody have other community events that are happening this week or so? Yeah.
Kiwanis of Sling County are going to do a fun run. They'll fund some of their Christmas projects this year out of Timberline in 2 weeks. Registration is online through our site right now. If you want to sign up and run, you can come out on the 3rd and cheer.
Okay, so that's at Timberline, timberlinepaintball.com. Okay, you can check that out. And what was the fundraiser for? Kiwanis? Kiwanis, okay. Cool. All right. Do you have something, Luke?
Just a reminder, I know we're talking about like all these events, but keep in mind, I've built a product to make things easier for us called Attendance in the App Store for free. And as of last night, we hit 80 events. So over the next, like this fall, there's tons of stuff going on. I'm still adding more events. I've got comedy. I got the 2 guys at the Joint that just signed up on the app, so they're adding all the comedy events as we go. So like, just keep in mind, like I've tried to make it this seamless for us. Just open the app, one screen, and you can see everything going on. Blink of an eye. Attend it. Like if I'm gonna, attend it. One word. Cool.
Thanks, Luke. Last quick thing. We've got a Venture Center resident, Uni Peroth, back there. He's got a great company called Beephonics. If you haven't looked into what Beacon technology can do in regards to marketing and just consumer kind of intelligence stuff, really interesting stuff, but they're hiring salespeople. So if anyone's interested, talk to him. He's back there, and he's more than happy to answer any questions for you guys. All right, so want to wrap things up. Thank you all for coming out. Get involved in the rest of the week with Minority Enterprise Development Week. And if you are new to 1 Million Cups, we hope to see you again. You folks that come every week, we cannot thank you enough. We love seeing you each week, and we want to keep growing this thing because of you. Have a good day. There's coffee. We're going to play some music. Let's have fun the rest of the day. I'll see y'all next week.